Hi, Dav here, and today we have a new episode in the channel, and today we're going to talk about how to draw faces via drawing fantasy characters. And my theory is it's easier to draw or understand the face if you're able to play with the facial shapes. But oftentimes when you have like an actual human face in front of you, it can be intimidating, number one, but also you're gonna have an issue with accuracy. Oftentimes when you have, again, a human reference, you end up wasting too much time trying to make your version look like the original version. However, if you decide to draw fantasy characters instead, you have a lot more leeway. Think of, elves, orcs, ogres, stuff like that, where you can really push your shapes and forms, because all of these creatures, characters, they will end up looking like an actual face despite the variety of their anatomy. I think I tried drawing, I did have some references, but I tried drawing first, painting loosely or sketching loosely. I think you can tell in the background, I did struggle with trying to find like my flow. I think it's okay to have like a phase in the beginning where you're just sort of getting into the art session. So you're kind of being a bit rough, trying to find your like pacing, your tempo. And to me, sometimes I think your hand needs to have some time to just loosen up a bit. So I did try to do some more charcoal like sketches. Basically, it's a mixture of lines plus value painting, which you do often see in charcoal artworks. And I think I did get the gist of what a fantasy character would look like. And I think I tried drawing a bunch of orcs and stuff like that, but it was kind of difficult because I had no idea where to start, structure wise, shape wise. So this is why I tried using Artwad, who's sponsoring today's video. So right now Artwad is running a huge discount on their yearly plans. You can use my link in the description below to get a 30% discount on their premium plan. You want to make sure you check it out right now because the deal won't last for long. So Artwad is great for all sorts of artists, whether for professionals or beginners, even for hobbyists. I think it's a great platform. It's a very fun website where you can learn to draw and improve your art skills without any pressure. Sometimes learning art can feel hard, especially without any guidance or a clear path. Artwad makes this easy by breaking down art into simple bite-sized lessons on popular topics like portraits, characters, animals, and landscapes, but also trending topics like anime, monsters, comic art are all available to start learning. Everyone can do easy to follow learning paths that feel like a game with fun progress tracking and rewards to keep motivation high. Very soon, you'll be making amazing art and feel proud and confident in what you've actually created. You can also check out the Artwad feedback tool. It's a place where artists can upload their works in progress, especially ones they're struggling with, and get structured feedback in one place. You don't have to dig through threads. Visual drawovers and written comments are all neatly organized and easy to revisit. If you want to receive feedback, simply upload your drawing to the feedback tool, write down what you're struggling with, and then share the link with your community. Artwad is building a space where your effort is actually recognized, so be sure to give it a shot. Join the Artwad premium membership with a 30% discount before the link expires. Huge thanks to Artwad for sponsoring this video. As much as you have the opportunity to exaggerate a lot of these features, it's still something that's not easy, especially if you haven't done it. So you want to have a phase where you just warm up a bit and just try and get the feel, the vibe of what a typical fantasy character may look like. And again, I do recommend using reference just because you won't know, despite it being a fantasy character, despite it being a subject where you can exaggerate the forms and shapes a lot, it's still something that's new to you, and to me anyway, it's new to me, so I had to use reference. But yeah, I definitely did struggle, and I think I even tried having a page where I just studied. I think I tried studying a bunch of skulls just to help me, because I thought it would help me just get a structural vibe for like a face. Although for the skeletons or skulls that I tried to study, they were human. Is it good? I don't know. I did struggle a lot, and whatever you're doing, whenever you're trying to study a subject that's out of your realm of comfort, you're gonna feel some pain. You're gonna feel a lot. You're gonna feel extended, like mentally, physically, just because you haven't done it. But there is a way to get over that, right? I did change my approach. Eventually, I tried a different thing where I found a new batch of interesting photos, references, and I think I mostly got them from Pinterest. I just type in fantasy characters or creatures in that site, and you can find a lot. And I think the key thing here is you want to find faces, fantasy character faces that do genuinely interest you. And also the shapes have to be somewhat clear, meaning the character can't be mostly in shadow. Like you, or if the image is too small, specifically the face, like the body's taking up most of the image and the face is like so tiny to the point where you can't see the facial features. I would avoid those types of photos or references. Find ones where it's more of a portrait where you can see the face. Like the face is the biggest part of the image, like it's the main focal point, and the facial features are kind of clear. And you want to just spend some time downloading a bunch of these images, right, that interest you. And then the first thing I would recommend is to study them via lines first. You're still trying to find the shapes, because what you want to do here is essentially find patterns in the face, because the face has certain shapes that make up a face, like the way the eye area, the socket has kind of its own shape, the forehead kind of has its own shape, the whole head has its own shape, the way the mouth is oriented or shaped or structured, it's also split, right, between the upper lip, the lower lip, the upper jaw. Is there an upper jaw, or the area above the lip, and then you have the lower jaw where you have the actual chin, right, and you have the ears. So my goal here was to find like these shapes that make up the face, and if I just figure out how to first of all notice them, but if I notice them enough and ingrain them enough in my skill set, I will be able to eventually play with these facial shapes within the face, and I can pretty much create any kind of face I want in the future, you know, whether it's like a human face or a more exaggerated face that you would see in like fantasy characters or even like sci-fi, like think aliens and stuff like that. Oh yeah, side note, I even saw, I'm not sure if I can find it, but I did see an image somewhere which I want to explore, but it's a cool breakdown someone did of like of how a face, a head can be split into different parts, and they had like all sorts of examples of humans, animals, aliens, creatures, something like that, and it was so nice to see. I want to be able to explore that one day, but that was their version, that was their own personal breakdown of how to like structure a typical face. So that's kind of what I'm doing with this process. So whenever you have, or once you have these references, these interesting references in front of you, what you want to do is study them first via lines. Basically, you focus on line art, or not line art, but line work, and you want to sketch out the major shapes of those faces. First of all, you have to draw in the overall silhouette, and then within that larger shape, that larger silhouette, you want to draw the shapes within that bigger shape. And those shapes on the inside are going to refer to mainly the facial features, like the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the ears. The ears do protrude, but and they do break off in the main silhouette of the face or character. But so you're gonna spend some time just focusing on this process, right? You don't want to move on to the next thing or to the next kind of study. You want to have a bunch of sketches where you just focus on, you have like a reference on your side or wherever your reference is, but you focus simply on drawing it via lines, and you focus or express it via shapes. And you want to have as less lines as possible, meaning you don't want to over clutter your sketches, only because the more lines you add, the more muddy it's gonna look like. There comes a point where you kind of lose the shapes. So you want to keep your lines somewhat minimal. You want to keep it somewhat efficient. And again, just keep in mind, you're trying to find the shapes and break down the shapes and simply sort of express it in your own way. And have a couple of images. Do this for like, I think for me, I did like 3 pages, each page having to face or head studies, right, in this process, or using this technique. Now, once you have that, you're going to realize that, oh shit, there really is a set of shapes within the facial or head kind of shape, and you will have a better understanding of how the face can sort of look like. But what you must do, which I do recommend, because a lot of people like stop here, and I think they're missing out on an even bigger opportunity. Like to me, you can double your learning if you study your studies. So in this case, once you have all of your studies done, what you want to do next is you find the shapes within the drawings you did, focusing on the shapes. So you're like studying the shapes twice. And I think you will realize once you do the second part, you will find shapes which you did not see when you were initially drawing these head or face studies. So also, it's good to do this in batches, only because you're gonna see more of the shapes that make up the face. For example, I do recommend in this second part using the lasso fill tool. I think other programs have, because right now I'm using Clip Studio Paint. It's like my main art program, but you can draw it or paint it manually. But I recommend using the lasso fill tool only because it's so easy to use and it helps me not waste time rendering or sketching, because I do have a habit of wanting to render stuff. So that's not really the priority for this study. So it kind of keeps things simple, and it's great for just color coding, which is what you're gonna do. And the idea here is you want to find the shapes that make sense to you, meaning you yourself can see it, because there are plenty of diagrams out there that artists do share. But again, when they share these diagrams, it's because that's what they see in their own eye. Whenever they see any kind of subject, those, in this case faces, those are the shapes, the underlying shapes they personally see. So if you copy someone else's diagram, but that's not how you see things, it's going to be useless. So this exercise is a great opportunity for you to find the shapes that make sense to you. That's why when you go to Pinterest and you find these like breakdowns of the face, they're gonna look so different from artist to artist, and that's good because we need to have our own personal system to understand things. So this is again a great way to do that. To make this work, to find your sort of mannequin in a way, you want to assign one color for one part of the face. For example, in my case, I think I used one color for the socket of the eyes. I think it was like a blue or cyan, and then you just cycle between different colors. But the idea here is you want to make it consistent all throughout your sketches. Like you don't want it to differ too much from sketch to sketch, only because it's going to be so confusing. Because once you have this all laid out in front of you, you can sort of see the shapes that are there and the shapes that you can manipulate. So you'll notice in some sketches the shape for the socket's like way smaller, and for other sketches it's maybe a bit more slanted or a bit higher in the head area. So having the same color all throughout consistently per part, it's just gonna help you find these patterns a lot faster. So once you have this like set of studies done where you have the shapes, the underlying shapes that's like color coded, assigned to like each part of the face all throughout these sketches or studies you've made from your reference, like once you're done with this, you will have just a deeper understanding, an underlying understanding of how the face works. And I think once you have these sort of in check, it's going to be easier for you to design your own faces. But it's not just about design, because sometimes you want to use references, right? It's going to be easier for you to break down the face a lot more because you can already see the shapes from afar. Like you know where the cheek shape is. I'm just giving an example here, like the side of the head, maybe like a half circle or whatever. Again, the shapes have to make sense to you. So once you have your own like personal mannequin, personal breakdown of the face, it's just going to be easier for you to approach faces in the future. And again, I think fantasy characters are a great way to start. They're great to study only because of the diversity of shapes. Like the shapes are they're way more recognizable than the average human face. I mean, you could also study like caricatures, but for caricature artists, they can already see the shapes and all they're doing is expanding or exaggerating those shapes. So for someone who can't really see shapes in the beginning, it's not going to be as useful to you. But if we're referencing fantasy characters like again elves, ogres, orcs, goblins, their facial features are just going to be too obvious or so obvious, which makes studying a lot easier. Hopefully this helps, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!